And what I'd like to talk to you about in this video is the check engine light. Okay? And how does it work? It's like the OBD2 reader. Okay? It's like a check engine light that goes to a vehicle. When the vehicle senses an error with the engine, it'll pop up a check engine light. Okay? Or even possibly something with the transmission. It'll pop up a check engine light. And that's usually due to an error. Okay, number one, an error. And within the physical body, there's the internal and there's the external. Okay? And the external is picking up this sin. And then it's internally downloading the sin into the physical structure of the body and destroying it. Okay? And it's shutting off a check engine light within your body. It's saying error, error. And it's telling you, the voice of God will appear in your mind and say, please do not do this again. Okay? And this is considered to be the children of sin. Okay? That constantly do it without recognition of what they're doing. This is why Paul stated in his scripture, we do what we hate to do. Because the body was corrupted. Once the first sin is implemented into the physical structure of the body, it corrupts the microbiology of the body. Okay? Leading me to number 2, mental thoughts. Okay? Planting a lie in your mind will automatically shut off a check engine light. Why? Because you put a lie into your mind. So it's going to pick it up as this may not be correct. Okay? And then you're going to have to follow this in the following system. And this is why it's so important to understand your mental thoughts, because if you're planting a lie within your mind, it'll grow. And it'll grow into more lies. And you'll have a tree of lies. And as you have this tree of lies, little did you know that you were under a microscope by God. Okay? Number 3, under a microscope. You were under surveillance the whole time. From the heavens. They always are surveilling everything that you do. Through audio and visual. Okay? Your audio that you hear. Do you not hear? Do you not see? And do you not speak? Then everything that you're doing is being recorded. I want you to understand that. So there's nothing you can do to run from God's programming system. Okay? It's automatically designed to pick up like a computer. He's got you in the database. And this is how I know you're part of the DNA. The data network algorithm. Hello, you're in the database. You're in the information base. Okay? That you were here, and you were born on so-and-so date, and you clocked out when? The day you left your job. And that's going to move us on to number 4, because when you clocked out on that job, you were drunk and you were high. Okay? And what that was doing was causing the check engine light to go off, because you were causing neuron interference. Neuron interference to God. Okay? Because when you're under the influence of drugs and alcohol, it states that are demons rule under God, Satan, if you didn't know that you are most likely a demon. Only very few can maintain the light under the drugs and alcohol. Only few. It's a very rare occasion. Because what you see with drugs and alcohol is most people become thieves. Okay? Or they become perpetrators. Or they become, they dishonor their mother and their father. Unless their mother and their father were not raising their children properly. Okay, that's the only acceptance. But you still have to honor them, but from a distance. Not from within the close vicinity of a one-on-one contact. Which will lead me to number 5, frequencies. Okay? Frequencies will lead you into a transmitter interference issue. Okay? You'll have a transmitter interference issue. This is how they were getting everybody, all the children, to turn into LGBTQs. They were hitting you with these frequencies. Okay? And they were messing with the child's transmitter. That's why they call them transgenders. Hello? Y'all awake? Okay? Transmitter interference. They were also messing with, remember what I said, they were messing with your neuron transmitter interference. These are still connected. These are still connected. But it's more tied into the frequency than it is tied in with the drugs and alcohol. Even though drugs and alcohol will lower your frequency to a demonic frequency. Automatically, you are on demonic time. This is why you see most people on drugs and alcohol doing demonic things or be under demonic possession. Number 6, children's development stages. Okay, this is very critical. This is a critical stage. You'll see a lot of check engine lights come off at this period of time, and your child will not know how to express itself. So they'll try to feed it medication, and then you'll have to go see the doctor. The doctor will try to question the lies that the child has been implanting in its mind through mental thoughts. Probably most likely a perpetrator, some type of, some type of distress signal is being alerted through the development stages, and this is a critical time to figure out what's going on with your child, unless it is you, the parents, okay, that are causing it. And if it's not the parents, then it's the outside community. And if it's not the outside community, which 100% of the time it is the outside of the community because of how traumatic and atrocious this community is and has become since the time of technology. We were heading in a good direction for quite some time until we started dropping bombs. No, that's not true, because what happened to all the horse wars? You know what I'm saying? So then it doesn't matter, right? Because the problem is the lack of love, which will set off a check engine light when you have hatred in your heart. And this is based on the selection of choices, okay? The selection of choices down here is very poor. We don't really make the greatest choices in our lives. That's what you see with humanity. Humanity is a shit show for making choices. It just is. As an individual, as a whole group, as a whole nation, as a whole continent, as a whole world of choices, we make bad choices. Okay, it's just the truth. And that's because we keep opening the doorway to hell. We keep opening Pandora's box. And how are we doing this? By programming systems like audio and hearing, sound and visual and interference, okay? We are interfering with the sound and visuals to another way of combating a warfare on, how they fight warfare. But this is spiritual warfare because these people are fighting spiritually. They're not fighting this physically. These militaries, they do all this spiritually. So they do spiritual attacks on us. Spiritual warfare. So the military is actually attacking our spirits to turn us demonic and turn us into demons. So they have a reason to kill us and genocide on us. Yes, it is. Don't you dare lie, military. We know what you're really down here doing. And the way you can exceed this is through the body language of a sergeant or even a general. Catch a general by his body language, and most likely he's going to signal distress when you put him under this type of pressure. Because he knows he's lying. And that they're really trying to signal a genocide on us. And this is through extensive programming. Okay? Extensive programming. And that's going to be number 10. Is that they're messing with the brain activity. The brain wave. Okay? Once again, we're back at that brain wave. That brain frequency. And they're messing with the activity of the brain. Okay? And they're doing this by extensive programming. They were doing this testing back in the 50s and 60s. Trust me. Yes, they were. Where they would keep your eyelids busted open wide like this for periods of 40 to 72 hours to see what it would do to the mind, to the brain activity, to see what kind of effect it would have on it. And then this is when you get into the disciplinary act, which is controlling the body. Okay, when you lose control of the body, you have another check engine light going off, obviously, because you cannot control the physical body. And everybody is having this issue. Okay? Everybody's having this issue. It's like trying to say you can control your bladder when it's time to go to the bathroom. You can't control when it's time to use the bathroom. When it's not time to use the bathroom, it'll let you know. Okay, but when you have an engine going off, a check engine light going off, it may be more frequently that you have to use this bathroom. Okay? And that's because the body isn't disciplined properly. You probably aren't hydrated properly. And if you are hydrated properly, then you probably are using the bathroom the right amount of times a day. What the military is also doing number 12. Okay, they're doing demonic attachments on people. I don't know if they were practicing it, this poltergeist machine or weapon, which is the television, the phones, the cell phones. They're all poltergeist machines. They're poltergeist It captures poltergeist, so it allows you to get an EVP. Also, an EVP, and it also allows you to capture the actual entity or the spiritual orb or energy that was manifesting itself around you. And this could be an angel, it could be a demon, it could be God. And anytime that there's a demon attachment, there's going to be a possession, either on the child or the adult. Okay, it's going to be a possession. Now, is it going to be temporary or long term? We don't know until you figure out the character under a microscope for a little while. So you're surveillancing his activity through body language, through frequencies, through choices, and through errors, through mental thoughts. All this will count into how long this possession, if they're under demonic possession for a temporary period of time. Once they clean their house up and sweep it back up in order, will they have their mind? Will they be back under the disciplinary act, allowing themselves to control themselves, and that they won't be under demonic possession? And most of all this occurs from number 13, spiritual deprivation. Okay, and emptiness in the spirit. This is like being spiritually dead, spiritually bankrupt. Okay, you're spiritually bankrupt in the spirit. And all of these signs from 1 to 13 are all signals that you have check engine lights going off. And I'm sure you're on this list, somewhere on this list. Even emotional instability, okay? Emotional instability could come in as number 14. I didn't write that on the list because obviously I only have so much money and only so much room I can write on it. So I can't really get to deep details on some more things that I would know that I could put in the video. But this is what I have on check engine lights. Thank you.